Welcome to the MS Gym podcast, where we give you the tools to live life by design, not by diagnosis. I'm your host, Brooke Slick, and here we go. Hi, everyone. In this Throwback Thursday classic from Trevor, he asks the question, what is your MS identity? Now that you have MS, inevitably, your life's going to change. Are you prepared for those changes? Are you going to be able to take the hits and rebound with a win? In this episode, as usual, Trevor brings the fire as he guides you through the ever-winding road of life with MS. Let's go.
What is going on, my MS Gym family? How is everyone? Well, it's Motivation Monday. It's Monday. It's a good day. And I think it's funny because this is one of the first times that I've ever actually not filmed in my car. So somebody commented about one time saying, "Are you homeless? Because you always film in your car." So no, I'm in my playroom, hanging out, doing my thing with all my friends. But yeah, so I'm working from home this week and feeling good. So I just want to talk to you guys today about some kind of, I don't want to say intense, but kind of a decision-making day, if you will, or a decision-making conversation, a defining conversation, if you will. And so I just want to ask you the question: what is your MS identity? And what that means is kind of different for everybody. And when we think about how we identify with MS, or how you guys identify with MS, how you wake up in the morning, how you go to bed in the evening, how you think about your life, how you think about who you are and what you're doing and what your purpose is and all of that. I think we need to first discuss some background. And my goal is to get you to the point where by the end of this Motivation Monday, that you identify yourself better, or that identity with MS is actually enhanced and flipped over to a better state. So when we talk about MS, it's a painful state of being. It's a painful state of existing when you don't know what to do, and you don't know where to go, and you don't know who you're going to become, or who's going to be in your life or who's not going to be in your life, and how things are going to change. And even for those veterans, and even for the ones who are rocking and rolling, and who are exercising every day and eating well and feeling better and moving better and all that kind of stuff, there's days that can throw you off. I'm recovering, and I'm still recovering, and I feel pretty good, with my autoimmune stuff that I have going on. And as many of you read this morning in that email, is that a year ago it was a pretty ugly situation, and my body was pretty beat up and pretty just jacked up, and I'm pretty weak and pretty frail and pretty inflamed. And I didn't really know what to do. And even though I knew what to do from an education standpoint, I knew how to train my body, I knew how to move it, and I knew how to eat right and all that, I was doing everything I possibly could, and I would just get hit. I would just literally get hit out of nowhere. And I would wake up and I'm like, uh-oh. And 2 days later, I couldn't walk on my foot, or uh-oh, I felt my hands and I couldn't bend my fingers. Like, I couldn't snap my hands. I couldn't do this with my fingers. Like, it was paralyzed. And so with MS and any kind of neurological condition, we have those external pains. We have the joint pain, and we have the brain fog, and we have the irritability, and we have those cognitive issues where you're just like, what is wrong with me? Like, I can't put two thoughts together, or the words don't come out of my mouth, or why am I yelling at my kid or my spouse? We have the depression. We have the you just feel bad. You just feel low. You just feel dark. You just feel frustrated. You just feel alone. You feel lonely. You feel isolated. You feel alienated. You feel left. You feel abandoned. You feel betrayed. You feel cast out. Like, any of these adjectives, like I've heard you guys say, and I've heard it from working with the MS community for years. And that external pain is caused from the fact that, or that internal pain that we just talked about is caused from the fact that your body doesn't work, right? The external pains that we feel are the joint pain, right? Or the mobility issues, or the balance issues, or the foot drop, the headaches, the bladder control, the optic neuritis, the MS hug, all those physical things that are happening to you. It can be the brain fog, it can be the depression, it can be just the act of just not being able to control what is going on in your body. And like I said, just to I kind of blended those two together, but I want to keep this organized, is that the internal pain that you feel is loss of control, loss of influence, loss of design to your life. When people first get diagnosed or before they find a solution like the MS gym, it can be a very lonely state of being. Many of the MSers that I've talked to have had spouses walk out, or children not understand them, or employers try to nudge them out, or people that were supposed to be their community and their church community, and these people that are supposed to step up and stand up for those that are going through hard time and have faith with those who have hard time, and who are supposed to walk with those who are having a hard time, all of a sudden turn their backs, and it's like too much for them to handle, or they're too busy to handle it, or whatever else. And that can lead to a lot of personal internal turmoil that you could have, because you didn't do anything. You didn't choose this. You didn't do anything bad. You didn't live a bad lifestyle. You didn't smoke and drink and do drugs and all that kind of stuff in order for this to happen. You're not 180 pounds overweight. You're not living this dangerous lifestyle, nothing like that. You didn't choose to have MS, like it chose to find you. And the thing is that a lot of things happen to you guys as MSers, and a lot of them are not your fault. And a lot of them are circumstantial, and a lot of them are conditional, and a lot of them, a lot of the insults and damage that you feel, aside from the fact that your body's turning on you, is the relationship loss, the relationship assault, the relationship abuse that you get by the fact that all of a sudden you have this condition that isn't your fault and that you didn't choose. And all of a sudden, like, you're either less than, or you're not good enough, or you're not lovable, or you're not friendable, or you're not employable, or whatever the heck it is. And that sucks. And the third type of pain that you actually end up with is a philosophical pain and a philosophical conflict. So when you run into someone like myself, or you run into someone like Dr. Walls, or you run into someone like Dr. Axe, or something along those lines, and these people are telling you that you can heal, and your body has this innate ability to heal by moving more, eating well, getting your mind right, sleeping more, de-stressing your life, and we give you permission, and we give you resources, and we allow you to just be like, dude, you need to focus on healing. It's a philosophical conflict because the world doesn't support that. The world doesn't celebrate taking a break. The world doesn't celebrate stopping and healing yourself. The world says, go, 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 do, be, more, more, more. And it's relentless. And then you got a physical, neurological condition that is relentless. And then you got losses in your life at some point that may be relentless, or you may have a relapse that's relentless, or you may have a flare-up that's relentless, or it feels like it is, but yet it's not. And for someone like myself to come in and say, hey, if you move your body in this way, if you do this exercise in this way, you can get better. It's like, and then, it's a total conflict and a total opposition to a lot of what you have been told in the past unfortunately, by your medical provider. Drugs are the only way. This is as far as I can take you. Well, there's just not much more I can do with you. Well, you do understand that you have MS and it is a progressive disease. Yep, you might as well just start planning, looking at wheelchairs. Yep, here's a guide for you. Yeah, it's all about fall prevention. You open it up and you're like, oh my gosh, maybe I have exercises to help me. And you open it up and it's telling you how to fall-proof your house. And it's telling you to attach shelving to the wall. And it's telling you to not have knives lying around, like you're literally having to baby-proof your house. What kind of empowerment is that? There is none. And that's the kind of stuff that gets me fired up, man. So between me and people like Dr. Axe and Dr. Walls and Dr. Hyman and all those people out there, like, we are in conflict with what westernized allopathic medicine says, because they just don't know any better. It's not how they were trained. It's not their fault, and you can't get mad at them, and you can't just be like, oh, those guys suck and they're negligent, blah, blah, blah. You can't, because they just don't know what they don't know. I don't know the first thing about cutting open someone's brain, but I'm not saying it's not a good thing. If you have a hemorrhage in your brain, I'm not saying it's not effective. It's just, I don't know how to do that. So why would I even recommend that? So you run into this philosophical conflict along with your internal conflict and along with your external conflict, right? Your external conflict, again, to review, being your symptoms, your internal conflict being the result in your life and the effect of those symptoms on your life, and then the philosophical or the crisis of belief that you go through, having faith that this is real, having faith that your body literally can heal itself. And I've gone through it. Misty has gone through it. Many of you have gone through it. Like, I went through a period where I was like, I can't live like this for the next 35 years. I cannot be waiting for my foot to flare up, or be waiting for my hands not to work, or be waiting for all of a sudden my stomach to just expand from celiac disease and me gain 10 pounds in 2 days. Like, I can't live in this cycle of being a victim and a slave to my condition. And so I have to do something different. And so here's the thing, you guys, is that what that day, those days, those moments, those hours, those sleepless nights, those early mornings, where those are the darkest hours of having MS, the time when you don't know if the next day is going to be better. The days and the hours and the minutes that you really have this crisis of belief and in knowing that what you are doing is the right things, because you don't quite see proof of it yet, or you've seen proof of it and then you backslide, and then you see more proof that exercise works, and then it doesn't work, and then you're cruising and you're feeling good and you're lifting your legs and you're turning your body and you're dancing around, and then some reason on a Wednesday at 10 o'clock in the morning, your leg doesn't work, or your eye gets funky, or your bladder loses control. You start to get massively depressed. And you go through this, again, this crisis of belief, and you start someone who is not healed, someone who cannot be healed, someone who struggles to be healed and not consistent, and that you can't get ahead of, and that you just start to spin and spin and spin and spin and spin and spin and spin. And that's a sad place to be. And that's the kind of thing that's why I do these Motivation Mondays, because if you're in that spot, are not that. You do not have to stay there. You can rise above this. There are solutions, there are resources, and just like we talked about last week, stay calm, stay present, and stay connected to the people and the community and the relationships that allow you to know what you've done, how far you've come, and that this is just a bump in the road and tomorrow can be better. Tomorrow may be the day that turns it around. Tomorrow may be the day that your body clicks. Tomorrow may be the day that final little click in your brain all of a sudden allows your leg to lift. Tomorrow may be the day that you wake up and your eyes are clearer. Tomorrow you may wake up and you have a clear brain all day to have a great conversation with your wife. Tomorrow may be the day that you're like, I feel good. Like, I'm going to try to use trekking poles today instead of my wheelie walker, and you do it. Tomorrow may be the day that you take step number 30. Tomorrow may be the day that you take step number 1. Tomorrow may be the day that you stand out of your chair. You never know what tomorrow can bring. And I don't want to go down this road, but I have to mention it, is that unfortunately, the rate of people ending their lives because of conditions like this is quite high in the MS community. I've sat with those people when they're going through it. I've sat with clients when they actually have thought about it. I've sat with clients when after they almost did it, and we had to walk them back on this side of the bridge. We had to walk them back into the light from that dark place. And that is why the MS gym is so important. That is why you all are so important and your stories are so important and sharing your struggles is so important so that people don't feel alone. Because the hardest part of this entire MS journey is getting your mindset right and getting your brain disciplined enough and getting your body strong enough and getting your heart believing enough that you keep walking forward through the storms and you keep walking forward when the road gets very narrow and you keep walking forward when there is no road and you have to jump. So the entire goal of what I'm doing in the MS gym is to help you create, and I'm going to go into a sports analogy here in this place, but again, creating a winning record against MS, a winning record. Now, when I say a winning record, that doesn't mean an undefeated record. That means a winning record. So a winning record is you have one more win than you have lost. Even if your record is 500, where you have 5 wins and 5 losses, that's still a winning record. Okay? So as you step forward into each day that you live with MS and into each exercise session that you try and into each mindset session where you try to calm your brain down and be grateful and stay calm, stay present, and stay connected and think about the people you have and think about the people you get to love and think about the opportunities that you still have. Think about the people in the MS gym that you can help. Those are opportunities and those are games that you are put in the position to play against your opponent, which is MS, and how you choose to play those games and how you choose to identify yourself and how you choose to step up and either be the superstar or be the one that gets defeated, be the winning team or be the losing team determines whether you walk out victorious or defeated. And so the thing is that even if you are 6-5, it's still a winning record. That means that you lost 5 times and you won 6 times in a given week. Who cares? Out of 7 days, you just need to win 4. All right? Out of 7 days, you just need to win 4. And if you times that 4 by 52, math on camera, right? You have 208 days that you've won and 100 and something days, 365 minus 208, that you didn't win. Or maybe it's 280. I don't know, whatever. So, but if you win 4 days out of 7 a week, you have a winning record against MS. So what the heck does a winning day look like? How do I gain wins? Well, you gain wins by realizing that every single small victory that you achieve is a win. If you stand up for 10 seconds longer today, that's a win. If you walk to the mailbox out your wheelie walker, that's a win. A wheelie walker instead of in your chair, that's a win. If you get to spend time with your spouse and you don't talk about and you talk about all the good things that you're learning in the MS gym, that you're learning about your condition and the good things that you're doing that you helped someone today, that's a win. Instead of talking about all the negative things that you cannot do with your spouse, think about talking about the things that you can do with your spouse. You may not even be able to go for a walk with your spouse for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes like you used to, but guess what? You can go take a 10-minute walk with them on their walking on your trekking poles, on your wheelie walker, just because, like Phil Feltham said a few weeks ago, and like Jody Feltham said, is that they don't have the ability to take the long walks that they used to, but they take shorter walks within Jody's range of being able to do that, and they appreciate those times together. So just by appreciating the time that you have with your significant other or friends or your kids, people that you love, instead of thinking about what you cannot do with them or what you used to be able to do with them or what you wish you could do with them, by being present and being with them and loving them where you're at or loving them where they're at and loving yourself where you're at, that is a win. By trying to get on the floor instead of getting on your bed, that's a win. By trying to do the one hand off the wall. Let's take my hand off the wall for this set just for a couple, 2 or 3, that's a win. By being in your chair, and even though I'm doing a standing exercise and I'm talking about leaning into my glutes, and you're leaning into your hip, you're leaning in your glute instead of sitting there lamenting about the fact where like, well, I can't do it because I can't stand. That's a win. By waking up in the morning and thinking about all the things that you have and all the things that you get to do today and all the ways that you're going to fight off MS today, that's a win. By looking at exercise, your PDF exercise programs, that's a win. Reading an email and believing the words that are written in front of you, what the author is telling you, that's a win. By getting out and getting in your car after having HSCT for the first time in, I don't know how long, stem cell treatment, however long, and driving to the pharmacy to get your medications, that's a gigantic win. That counts as 2 wins. By standing out on the driveway and communicating with a neighbor like a normal human being, instead of being stuck inside wishing you could be out talking to your neighbors, that's a win. So you guys, I think you get the idea, but here's the thing, is that every small win is one more victory in the war. Every little win is a winning battle. And again, you don't have to be 10-0, 12-0, 15-0. Dude, be 8-7, right? Be 9 and, what is that? 9-7, right? Be 8-7, 9-7, 4-3, whatever it might be, whatever you're winning. And I even have clients who have a scoreboard up in their office or their kitchen or something like that, where every time they do something that they normally wouldn't have done for MS or because of MS, they tally. And every single time that they lose a mind battle, they lose a heart battle or a belief battle, they lose a physical battle, and they're just like, I'm going to go sit on the couch instead of doing my exercises, they mark a loss. So you decide what it is that you do, whether you write it down, whether you speak it into your phone, whether you keep it in your head, whether you tell a friend, whether you blast it in the MS. That's what I challenge you to do over this next week. Put up your scores, man. What's your winning record? Everybody on Friday, I'm going to call you out. We're going to put a post up on Friday. I want to know your winning record this week. Okay? I want to know your record this week. And if you had a losing record, that's cool. But if you had a winning record, that's cool too. I just want to know where you're at. All you got to put is the number. Out of between Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we'll do 5 days. What's your record? Hopefully it's 3-2 or above. Okay? That's your challenge. So here's the thing, you guys, is that when we talk about what is your MS identity, you either identify yourself with a victor or a talk about that before. Either you are victorious or you are victimized. Either you are a champion or you're not. You're either a warrior or you're a slave. You're either taking steps to impact and design your life, or you're sosis. Either you are believing that you can heal, or you are believing that you cannot. There is no gray area here, you guys. And that's the thing. That's the cool part, and that's also the challenging part. If your overall theme in your body is, I am victorious, I am a champion, I am winning, I have impact, I am designing, then even if you have losing days, guess what your mind does? It uses those mistakes and it flips them on their head. You learn from them, you get stronger from them, you build more from them, you get better from them because you have a champion mindset. You don't have a mindset that every little chip in your armor that you get, it just takes you down and down and down and down. So that's what I want to ask you guys today is, what is your MS identity? And I can tell you, for a majority of you guys that I talk to and communicate with in the MS gym, we are a nation of champions. We are a nation of conquerors. We are a nation of victorious winners and victorious leaders that are going out and not only helping themselves, but helping others, even on the days that you are losing, by putting yourself out there and encouraging someone and lifting someone up and giving someone a suggestion. You have no idea what it will do to your heart until you do it. The minute that on a losing day that you go in and you speak to someone and you tell them how much you love them, you appreciate them, you're here for them, like you support them and you're cheering them on, check back in with me. I've connected with you. Man, that will light your heart up. And honestly, if you're in a crappy losing day and you do that, that is a win. Because you got out of your own self, feeling sorry for myself, having a pity party. You took all that negativity and you're like, you know what? I feel like crap today, but I don't want someone else to feel like this. Boom! And you give. You give someone a resource. You give someone a word of encouragement. You give someone a leg up or an arm up or a total lift up, right? You give someone a book to read. You give someone a song to sing. You send them a link. You refer them back to some Motivation Monday. You refer them to some other resource outside of here that changed your world, whatever. Giving is always winning, you guys. And believing is always winning, you guys. And persevering is always winning. And I know that's what you guys are made of. I know that's who you are. That's why this community is different. That's why we're almost at 10,000 members. So again, I want you guys to think about who you are. What is your identity in MS? What is your identity to yourself, regardless of those two letters? Who are you? What are you made of? What can take you out and what can't? What do you want in this life and what you don't? Who do you want to love in this life and who do you need to let go of? What things do you want to accomplish and what things do you need to let go of? In 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, what do you want to be known for? What do you want to stand for? How are your children or your spouse or your friends or your community, what would they say about you? If your life ended tomorrow or a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, how would you be remembered? That's how I want you guys to start living your life. Because when you start to think about that and you start to put that in perspective, man, things change quick. So, I love you guys. And I just want to let you know that I understand you. I get you. I'm walking with you. I'm passionately standing with you side by side, arm in arm. And we are walking forward together through this storm of MS and also the celebration of victories over MS and just who you're becoming because you have MS. How much more you appreciate life, how much stronger you're becoming, how much more you're being tested, how much you're showing the world and yourself what you're made of. You're becoming better. Even though some days it doesn't feel like it, I need you to know that you are becoming better because you're here, because you're listening to this, and because you're going to take action this week to try and create a winning record. All right? So no matter what your external pain is and your symptoms, no matter what your internal pains are, your depression, your loneliness, your alienation, your frustration, whatever it is, and whatever beliefs that you are having, whatever the crisis of belief you're having in knowing, believing, and having faith in yourself that you literally are strong enough to overcome all this stuff and have a winning record, all you got to do is keep moving forward. All you got to do is stay calm and just breathe and know that you have help. You just got to stay present and know that you're here and go through your day intentionally conscious of what you're doing. And you must stay connected into the MS gym where there are amazing, my heroes are in the MS gym. Like my heroes live in this house. So thank you guys so much for everything you do. I want to know that to me, you are a champion. You are victorious. You are an all-star. You are a Hall of Famer. To walk beside you, watch you be victorious, watch you go into defeat, and then get back up again and just keep going, because that is who you are, that is who you're made of, and that's who you are called to be. So I thank you guys so much for listening today. I hope this brought you hope and strength and got you fired up and hit you right here and hit you right here and hit you right here, man, because I want winning records this week. And even if you have a losing record, I want you to put down the losing record and tell me what you're going to do different next week. Put down the winning record, okay? Put down the winning record and tell me what was your biggest victory this week. Because I'm going to put it up on Friday. You're going to see a big old football post and it's going to come up on Friday and I want to know your record. All right? So from the bottom of my heart, I love you. From the bottom of my heart, I want you to know that I'm with you. From the bottom of my heart, I want you to know that everything that I am doing is to make your life better, because I want you to have everything that you need in the coming year to write your own success story, to write your own victory. to write your own flag that you plant in the ground and you say, this is where I am, this is where I came from, this is where I'm going, and I want to do this together with every single one of you in the MS Gym. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for being my family. I love you guys so much. Have an awesome day.
For more information on the MS Gym, check them out at themsgym.com, on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. If you'd like to know what I've been up to lately, you can find me at brookslick.com. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next episode of the MS Gym podcast.